Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Money Talks. And I just want to take today and tell you four ways that you can help reach your financial goals. But first, if this is your first time joining us, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you like this content or you're enjoying other content, go ahead and give me this video or other videos a thumbs up. And lastly, if you can, go ahead and leave a comment to let me know that you're here. And I do my best to respond to comments as soon as possible. So, one of the things that makes having goals is reaching them. And that's very, very difficult. But today we're going to talk about four different ways that you can actually help reach your goals, and especially with finances. So, number one, you got to actually have a goal and not something more gray in theory. You have to more think about what is your specific goal. So if you're in this month of March and of 2020 and your financial goals were, hey, I really want to save some money or I really want to pay off some debt. Well, how much debt were you really trying to pay off? How much money were you really trying to pay off? If you were trying to pay off $10,000 worth of debt or save $10,000 in your savings account, that amounts to about $835. So you want a month. So you really want to start to drill down and find out, okay, if I'm going to save this money, how much is it and how much or what should I be doing about monthly? What does that actually look like? So along with that specific goal, you then have to really take yourself to, okay, how am I going to get there? Is it even possible for me to reach that goal? And that brings me to number two. You have to have a budget. You have to have some sort of spending plan. You have to have something written down on paper to where you can actually visually see specifically how you're going to actually reach that goal. As I just mentioned, it is about $835 to save $10,000 in a year. But the fact is, what you can't plan for and what you don't see on that piece of paper is, well, we know the end of the year is holidays. So you may want that may put a damper or make it difficult for you to save that same amount every month. So that means other months you may have to compensate for it. But on that end, you also may have bonuses that you don't count, or tax refund, or some extra job that you haven't count. So it's very, very important that you're looking on paper and start to build your plan around the things that you know will happen. You know there will be holidays. You know there will be birthdays. You know there will be other different types of celebrations that will come up. And it's your duty to actually figure out ahead of time, how do I actually make these things happen? Or will I not be able to make these things happen? Are there going to be some things that I simply decline? Will I not be able to celebrate a friend's outing? Or maybe I'll go out and celebrate, but maybe I just choose to not buy them a gift. However that looks like in your scenario, you have to sit down and plan that out. And that's ultimately what this budget, what this spending plan starts to do. It starts your mind to start to think ahead of schedule. It starts to get you to start anticipating things that will come. No, just like life and other things, you don't know what that's going to look like. But it's more important for you to be as best prepared or try to prepare as best as possible for you to reach your goal. You don't know how well. Maybe you'll get an increase this year. Maybe a side hustle or business opportunity will come about and it'll just increase your income. These are things that you just don't know. If you're in business, you never know what truly is going to happen in a given year, but you kind of forecast what is going to happen. And that kind of brings me to that next point of number three: avoid or try to plan for your distraction. You try to put measures in place to avoid distraction. That's the biggest piece about what interrupts your budget or your spending plan. What interrupts this is the distractions that come along. We like to generalize and call it life. So yeah, you don't know if someone may get ill. You don't know if someone may have a baby and you just want to be there to support. You don't know if you may have lost your job abruptly. These are things you just try to plan as best as you can to prepare for. but disruptions that you can control. You can control who you're around. So, meaning if on your Facebook, if you're not trying to spend money or if you're trying to pay off debt, it's a good thing to try to put filters in place when you start to deal with your social media. So you start to want to friend up people or join groups and clubs, or become part of, so use that social networking and put you in contact with people that are doing those same things, paying off debt, staying saving, really trying to get a handle on their budget. Those are things that are going to help you. Being a part of a crowd that's out spending a lot or traveling as much as possible because maybe they've reached their goals, or that's just not paying off debt, or saving is just not their particular plan right now, isn't necessarily going to help you reach your goal. And that is something that when it comes to decision making, you have to realize it is okay that you may not hang around in the same social circles as you start to take more control of your life and your money. It will cause a distance because sometimes that activity isn't going to be as helpful, but more disruptive to you and your progress. And you ultimately have to make a decision of what's important. And that kind of brings me to the underlying thing of everything that's left of all the points that I've made today. What they all drive to is, why are you doing this? You have to know why you're doing it. When I got out of debt or when I was paying off my car, I realized I wanted to keep that $320 a month. I was trying to save and really try to have money on hand so that if I was unemployed or if I need to travel or if there was just something I wanted to do, I had the money to pay for it. And ultimately, that why made more sense and became more of a motivation for why I didn't go out as much. I didn't go to happy hours as much. I didn't buy clothes in the mall as much. These things can interrupt your finances. Not going to the mall, going to the grocery store with a plan, understanding all these things, it adds up to your why. Because as you start to think about all the different things that can happen in life, all the different concerts, all the things that come about, all the missed opportunity, fear of missing out really is a real thing, and it really can interrupt your life. And maybe you're struggling from, hey, I'm just not having enough fun, or you're really seeking that ultimate feeling of, am I having balance? Is this really worth it? Is paying off debt really worth it? Is me being this intense about my finances really worth it in the long run? Because maybe I've had lost a couple close people in the last year, or maybe I lost that job. Regardless of it is, you have to decide, and your why is what's going to tell you in that moment. But having different measures in place for filters to help you make better decisions will help you be supported along this long journey. Because ultimately, when you're dealing with finances and when you're thinking about investing and really trying to get to that financial independence, it's a long-term journey. When you think about investing, you're not thinking about what's going on in present day. Yes, you're aware of the scenario and you're aware of what's going on. But when you truly understand your investments, you understand, hey, this is actually a great time for me to invest more money to get me get me progress and more momentum to my goal. So I will definitely suggest really understand why you're doing it. When you're investing, when you're saving your money and you're investing into the stock market, you're thinking long term. Even when you're paying off debt, that has short term and ultimately long term effects. Yes, your short term is you get to free up more cash in your month so that you have more margin, have more flexibility, be able to do the things that you want to do and be able to support yourself without being so constricted from a finance perspective. But on the long term, it gives you that margin to where you're able to save and invest in a comfortable setting while actually presently doing the things. Maybe it's buying a new car, maybe it's financing your kids' college, maybe it's taking multiple vacations, or maybe it's buying a purse or going to the mall and just having a little bit of a shopping spree or a spa weekend, whatever it may be. All these things have reasons behind it. And if you understand the reason behind it, then you will persevere and actually get through. So your why is very important to everything you do, but most importantly to your finances. And I would encourage you really understand your why, but also get know your goals, have a budget, avoid distraction. But all that adds up to know your why, and your why will take you through. I'll see you next time on another episode of Money Talks.